It was a Monday night, just like any other, at the local gaming spot. The air was thick with the scent of energy drinks and the low hum of cooling fans. I was leaning back, lost in the rhythm of the place, when one of the regulars approached me. I knew his face, but we weren't friends. He looked at me with a casual, knowing grin and asked a question that made the world tilt just a fraction. "Hey, how's the bouldering going?" I froze. I stared at him, waiting for the punchline. But his expression remained perfectly sincere. "I have never bouldered in my life. I am not built for it, and I have never shown even a passing interest in scaling rock walls." I told him he had the wrong guy, but he didn't budge. He insisted we had talked about it at length. He said he remembered the conversation vividly, as if it had happened yesterday. He looked at me with a puzzled half-smile, waiting for me to stop joking around. I wasn't joking. I told him flatly that I'd never done it and never would. I'm clumsy. I'm the kind of person who would fall and break my back just thinking about a steep incline. He eventually backed off, polite but clearly confused, and asked if I was afraid of heights. I told him no, just realistic about my own lack of grace. We moved on to a friendly, normal conversation, and I dismissed the whole thing as a simple case of mistaken identity. But as I walked home, a name flickered in the back of my mind. Mina. She was a vague acquaintance, the only person I knew who actually climbed. She had moved away 2 years ago to be closer to nature, closer to the mountains. I made a mental note to check in on her, a thought that lasted only a second before the noise of daily life drowned it out. Tuesday night arrived. I was drifting towards sleep. The blue light of my phone, the only thing illuminating the room. A notification popped up on Instagram. It was Mina, her first post in over a year. I tapped it, expecting a scenic mountain view or a sunset. Instead, the screen filled with the sterile, unforgiving white of a hospital room. It was a video of her in a bed, surrounded by monitors and plastic containers overflowing with pills. She was pale, hollowed out. She had fallen while bouldering. Her back had broken in several places. The caption was short and devastating. She was a paraplegic now. I sat up in the dark, my heart hammering against my ribs. The coincidence felt like a physical weight pressing down on me. I tried to reach out to mutual friends, but no one knew the details. Mina was private, living miles away in another city, isolated by her new reality. The next Monday, I went back to the gaming spot. The air felt colder this time. I saw the regular again and approached him, my hands shaking slightly. I told him about Mina. I told him about the mistaken conversation and the horrific timing of her accident. I showed him the video of her in the hospital, thinking he'd be as shocked by the irony as I was. He watched the video in silence. He hit pause on a frame where she was showing the jagged surgical scar running down her spine. Then, without a word, he turned around and lifted his shirt. The scar on his back was an exact mirror of hers. He told me he had been in the same accident years ago, a fall from a balcony when he was a stupid teenager. He had been a paraplegic too. It had been a long, agonizing road to recovery, years of rehabilitation until he could finally walk without a limp. I stood there, slack-jawed, the room spinning around me. The layers of the coincidence started to pile up until they felt impossible. My own parents are doctors who specialize in this exact type of trauma. My father, a spine surgeon. My mother, a rehab specialist. I live with my own back injuries, the dull ache of herniated discs at L4 and S1, reminding me of my fragility every day. I remembered the weird, sinking feeling I had when Mina first told me she was moving to the mountains. A warning I never spoke. A conversation I supposedly had with a stranger about an activity I never did, featuring an injury I feared most, involving a person I hadn't seen in years. I feel a heavy, irrational guilt. I feel as though I was standing on the edge of a glitch in reality, a warning signal that I failed to decode. I want to tell her, but what would I even say? That the universe was whispering her tragedy to me before it even happened. I look at the stranger in the gaming cafe, walking perfectly now. And then I look at the video of Mina. The world feels thin, unreal, as if the script of our lives is being written and rewritten by someone who forgot to delete the old drafts. Would you like me to generate a cinematic script for a different story? Or perhaps create a visual concept for this one?